How's everybody doing? Looks like there's a lot of you in chat tonight. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Some new things coming up tonight, and it seems that we're either popular or unpopular right now in the cryptic world. I'm not sure what's going on. I just received a bunch of information, but we'll talk about that as we come up and start talking about all the fun stuff we're going to talk about tonight. Had a little bit of technical difficulties. Kurt still fighting to try to get back on. We do have a special guest tonight that's going to be co-hosting with us. We will call her Christy tonight. I think she's going to add a different viewpoint. She's very well spoken. She has I've spoke to her a few times, and she has a lot of knowledge. We're glad to have her with us tonight. Uh, as you all know, what we're talking about tonight is not it's not popular amongst the witches for sure. Um, I've had so many threats on my life that well, I don't know. It seems like I'm back at work again. But anyways, um, I guess if you're not getting your life threatened, you're not doing your job, right? So can everybody hear me all right tonight? Before we start talking about these McWitches or sandwiches or something. All right, just waiting for somebody to tell me if y'all can hear me good. Kaylee, can you hear me? Kaylee says she can't hear me. Poor girl. We got her some hearing aids in the mail. She had a really bad accident over the weekend. I slapped her in her ears. But now we're still waiting on Kurt, and I wouldn't slap her. She's too good of a girl. We just beat her. Uh, but anyways, yeah, tonight's going to be interesting. I'm just going to say it. Some of the channels I thought was my channels that were my friends have now decided that maybe they're not. Maybe we're pushing the envelope a little too far. But to me, I was always taught the truth is the truth. And when I started this channel, I told everybody I'm not in it for the fame. I'm in it for the truth. Just like you would present any case, you follow the evidence, and wherever the evidence takes you, that's where you go. If the outcome is not what you wanted, well, sometimes that's what happens. And I think that's where we're at right now. Valerie, thank you so much for the super. Welcome, spiritual warrior, to the spiritual battlefield. You know, it is a spiritual battlefield right now. And it seems like the more you come against the dark part of this, the more that you're attacked. Um, that's fine with me. I'm okay with being attacked. Um, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. Let me see what's going on. No, Christy. I have Christy backstage. Y'all will get to see her here in just a second. She'll be live, and we might even just pin her straight up so everybody can see her by herself. Let her have the whole screen. No, I wouldn't do that to her. I'd give her a lot of trouble though. I like to tease her. Uh, yeah, Frida, that's true. You need to know who has your back when you do this stuff, and who doesn't. A lot of them will, as I call it, piggyback or ride your your shirt tails, and wait for you to take the first step. And then if it works, oh yeah, we all need to be doing that. But if it don't work, it's I told you so. And I don't know. I was always taught to be a leader and not a follower. Um, if you're doing what's right, then the cause is always right. Um, I think that you have to have great. I don't know. You have to be a great moral person, great moral character to be able to wear a badge, to be licensed, to investigate, to have control over people's lives. That you can ruin their lives and stuff like that. And I think that good moral character is one of the high points, and being a man of integrity and doing what you can to help people, and not just being there to cover up things to make sure it looks good and this part of town looks better than that part of town. And realtors are still getting their money on this side and not that side. I never was good at playing that game. I feel like that everything needs to be straight across the board, uh, and that's what we're going to try to do. Kirk. I haven't heard from Kirk. I'm not sure. I'm gonna see if he's okay, or if maybe somebody slipped over to his house and ate him. I'm not sure. You never know. We've had some people wanting to bite us here lately, so hopefully we're not on the menu. Hey, Grape Ape, good to see you on here tonight. I was just checking on you. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm live right now. I told everybody I was going to be checking on you. And, yep, fixing to bring her on here in about 3 minutes. She's going to be live. And we was just. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, guys. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring Christy in right now.
Oh God, there I am in all of my so unsaid glory. Hello. It's always weird to see yourself on TV.
Yeah, I told him. I said we're going to go ahead and bring you in and
Oh
get you broke in tonight.
yeah, just so you all know, I've been literally in a panic mode all day through work about this because I've never actually done this um live. So super nervous, super scared. So please be kind to me. And if you want to blow me up in the comments, wait at least like a week. Let me process.
I think you're going to do just fine. Uh, Probably brought you in on a tough subject though for one of your first nights.
Yeah, this is a different one.
Yeah, it's got a lot of attention so far. We'll be all right though. Uh, Kirk is still struggling to try to get in, so we'll see what happens with that. You're getting a lot of welcoming. A lot of people are welcoming you. So there's see.
That's really nice. That makes me feel a little bit better since I've been on piggyback work all day. Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting. Kirk, I'm sure he's probably about ready to throw his phone right now.
He probably is. Yeah. I actually called him about 30 minutes before we started up here. Just because I was literally having a panic attack and like needed to talk to somebody. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And he taught me off the ledge, and now he's having trouble. So that's fine.
I think you're going to do just fine. Uh, we have a good bunch of people here. They're really nice. So I don't think you'll have anything to worry about. As long as you don't have no. I was looking a while ago into some of this witchcraft stuff and some of the fast food restaurants tested 6% positive for human DNA in their meat.
Oh my God.
Makes you want a McDonald's, don't
Well, I thought I was hungry, but I guess I'm not.
it?
Wait. Please do
Mommy,
Taco Bell for me. Please do not do it.
mommy, why does my hamburger have a heart on it that says mom?
Oh,
It's just
oh, it's horrible. I'm
yeah,
can't
there.
now. Yeah.
But but I found there's an actual reason that they're doing this. They say that flesh that is consumed
Mm,
by the human body
mm-mm.
actually erodes the body and causes our bodies to break down and have more disease and stuff.
No, thank you.
And to where the adrenochrome, it has the opposite effect. So it's kind of like an attack against people. And what they're doing is they're within their sick minds, they're feeding us our human counterparts, I guess. And
Oh my.
I don't know. Yeah, pretty bad. There's Kurt. See if we can get him
Hello.
in here. There you are.
Good evening.
Hey,
Christy, nice to see you in here. Mike, nice to see you.
Good to see you, Kurt.
hey, you just jumped in at a great time. He was telling me about how we're, eating probably human flesh at, McDonald's. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling her that I was reading at 6% of the meat in the United States, according to the witchcraft practices and stuff. The U.S. Department of Health done it.
Agriculture.
Yeah, 6% contain human DNA. Uh, then you go on and you read, and a lot of the witches and the occult and things of that, they believe that when they feed the flesh to people, it causes it to erode your body. It causes disease, faster aging, which I don't need any more of that. Things like that, and the adrenochrome, which would be the opposite. So
Right.
it's kind of like they're taking the kind of like eating the good part and throwing us the pilling. Not that I would want the good part.
Oh,
That was probably a
right.
bad word, but yeah, it.
And then pretty
Yeah.
soon after, I lost my appetite. Yeah, I thought I was.
Next, instead of a Big Mac, it'll be a Big John.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
Yeah. I did find something that's probably going to be pretty controversial. And I told Christy that she's probably in a really tough night to start out being a co-host at first, because
Yes. Yes, she is.
It's a deep subject tonight, and well, I guess there's no better way to break her in than to just do the hard part first and then the easy ones later.
Yeah, she'll be fine. Don't worry.
Whenever President Obama, whenever he was our president, whenever he was in the White House,
and this is
out. Y'all remember whenever he turned the White House into the rainbow colors, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was more than just the symbolism that he done.
Imagine that.
The day that he done it, I found this while I was looking into it, was on a day called Tammuz. It's Tamuz. That is a witchcraft day that is believed one of the strongest days for them to cast a spell. And that day, whenever he done that on Tammuz, what he done is he casted a spell for a man to love a man, a woman to love a woman, and perversion of sex. And a lot of people
imagine that.
Well, they said a lot of people didn't catch that, but I found that whenever I went back and was looking deep into it. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
I mean, really, did you expect anything different out of him?
Well,
hey, Cynthia, how you doing?
There's a lot of weird things I've been seeing, even from people that I didn't even want to believe could be involved in a lot of this stuff. Like even some of the actors that I actually like, and
yeah,
it's like heroes ruined when you see something. Yeah.
Right.
Hollywood is very evil.
Yep.
Yeah. And then what are they? Okay, I got something to say first. I'm sorry, guys. My mind is one bonkers. I haven't even got to talk to Kirk about this yet. I found out about 10 minutes prior to the show.
Oh no.
We have some other channels, and I'll show you later who it is, but they have spoke out against me for bringing this subject out. Before I got you on the show, Kurt, I was not only told that we would no longer be supported and no longer welcomed on their platform, but they will also not allow any of our material on their channel.
Mm-mm.
This is more than one channel.
It is what it is. That tells you that we are hitting at the truth.
Yep.
I mean,
You know, with all the things that have happened lately, all the weird stuff, it wouldn't be happening if we weren't hitting at the truth. And they don't want the truth out there.
some of these channels that are even saying this are not even large channels that don't even have a lot of pull, but I believe that they're being influenced by larger channels that are trying to
Yeah,
bring them under their wing for allies or whatever they're attempting to do.
right,
But
right.
you know the old saying goes, you know, if your friend jumps off a bridge, are you going to too? And it seems like they will. It seems like there's a whole line of them ready to jump. Um, you know, but yeah, I was surprised by one that I was contacted. They're actually a good friend of mine and yours, Kurt. We've had many pleasant meetings with them, and
Right,
we've both even helped each other. And they said that
right.
our material won't be welcomed on their page no more. One of the females that contacted me, and I'll say female. This day and age, you don't know, but said she was a female. She said that not only will our stuff not be allowed on her show, but she would consider putting our stuff back on her page whenever we leave the witch out of it.
Imagine that.
So that's a little bit where we're at right now. We're under fire. We're under the magnifying glass, not only by channels, and I think it goes deeper than the channels. Christy knows a little bit about what went on today. We've been receiving threats on a really high scale. People hate us talking about this, plain and simple. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I'm tempted to go out and paint all my telephone poles black to see if I can get a few of them. But it's just it's irritating that they that they come at you and they threaten you. I mean, and then you listen to their channel, and let me quote one of them. Let me quote one. Hey, honey, where did you put that at on our last investigation? I don't know. I think I left it on my altar or on the table. That happened a lot.
Imagine that. Yep.
And you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. And Christy knows also.
Oh, does she know?
Starting underneath.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the two that I warned you about.
Yeah, it's like I was asking everybody, like, please be kind in your comments. I'm not professional at this, and it's also been a stressful day learning all of these things.
That's okay. Don't worry. You'll do fine. And our wonderful viewers, they won't have a problem with you. They will take into consideration the fact that you are new, and nobody's going to give you a hard time. And our wonderful moderators will make sure of that.
Cynthia Sunquist, I'd like to thank her for the super she just sent. She said, "Thank you guys for getting."
Thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia, the truth is what it's about.
Yeah.
And, people want to threaten me. Threatening me is nothing new in my life, my career. If you want to threaten me, that's fine. Get in line. I mean, take a number. If I would have been killed every time I've been threatened, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. And I'm not hard to find. I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm a backwoods country boy. Come on down. Let's go fishing. But it's just
And like I tell them, I'll even send you my address. If y'all want to come, just make sure I'm the first one that you come see.
That channel just texted me again. I've got it here on my phone. They said also they want us to leave the alien conspiracy out of it.
Oh,
What is that? How did they know I was going to talk about aliens tonight? I can't help it last night that I was abducted by Sasquatch driving a spaceship. I just wanted
Hey, might as well.
I'm fathering 72 hybrids on Mars. I mean, I was ready to break the story.
Damn. I
know.
thought I was the only one that did that.
It's crazy. You know, I had one land in my backyard last night. We had a barbecue and everything, and we talked about what I could discuss tonight. Kind of like the Senate's done right now.
Excellent.
But to talk about tonight, guess what the first thing is on the list? Aliens.
Let's imagine that.
Imagine that.
Yeah, we're going to talk truth tonight, Patrick, as long as they allow us to. I didn't expect the channels to say what they said, but I mean, I guess if that's where you stand, that's why I said in the last one. I mean, I can't put it any clearer. Careful of who you support.
Mm-hmm.
It matters.
Right. That's right. It does.
So we got the whistleblower coming out, talking about aliens.
Yeah. Well, and let me qualify this, Mike. If you want to get very technical about the definition, then they truly are aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
But I'll let you clarify to the people the definition and what they actually are.
I have this theory, and Kirk knows my theory. Jesus said to be born, that you must be born through water, which is the woman's placenta and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens were not born of the water, they were cast here. Whenever we're born of the water, like Christ told us, and we're doing it the way that he intended, being born of the water, being born of the woman, born of the flesh, the way it was intended to be, I look at that as a theoretical birth certificate saying, I belong here. I done it the right way. Jesus Christ and God felt that it was so important that it happens that way, that he didn't just send his son here. He sent his son through the womb that went through the water, the same as us, that received his birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Now the demons, they were cast here. They came here illegally, if you will.
Yep.
So they are not of this land. They are aliens of this land. But aliens, to me, equal demons. And, you know, people want to push this narrative that, man, these aliens are coming here. They're so much further advanced than us, and that they can do this and they can do that. And man, I had one in my room one night looking at me, and I was scared, and he was standing there. And then there's something I noticed when I'm reading through all these. No matter how many people have these experiences, every person that ever mentioned the word Jesus, the aliens left. If they're so advanced and they're so smart and they're coming, from light years away,
yep.
and they're beaming each other up and down from Earth, how come
beam me up, Scotty?
Right. So how come whenever they hear the name Jesus, why are they leaving? And it's because he is the king of deception. You see, they have to have, and this is just my opinion, but they have to have a lie. I'll put it as a lie. For whenever the Christians, there is no good but God, but when the Christians go missing, they can say, oh, no, there was no rapture. Jesus isn't real. The aliens are here, and they took the people. And what we got to do to keep them from taking you is we've all got to bow down to them and start doing what they're saying, because they are good people. Then you have...
See, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem with me.
I bow down to God, and that's all.
Yep.
But I think that's the narrative. And a lot of people right now, and I don't think they're doing it knowingly, but a lot of people are helping push this agenda. Channels are picking it up now, and instead of exposing them for what they are, they're saying, no, there is alien abductions. They are coming from other planets. They are going, well, you know what? Yeah, they come from another place, all right,
Yeah.
and they have a lot more knowledge than what we do because they've always been here. They are eternal. But the one thing we have that they don't is the love of God and God's power in His Word, and they hate that.
No, Mike. No, Mike, you're wrong. They are not eternal. When God says it's time for them to go back to hell, they will go there in no uncertain terms.
Right? I mean, eternal as in they will never die. They will serve eternity in hell or
Yeah,
heaven.
correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
they're eternal beings, and
I know but could I also like add on to what you just said? Because I
sure.
totally, I'm sorry. I don't mean to
Of
interrupt.
course.
No. We
No, I believe that this is what was written in the Bible about the Nephilim, right? These people, these are demons. They are fallen angels. They were cast down. They are trying to get. Oh, are you laughing at me? Don't laugh at me. I'm sorry about my opinion. But
I'm
it's just
not laughing at you.
oh
This is exactly the same thing that me and Mike have been
oh
saying.
no, good. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, like listeners, and I didn't expect and cut anybody off. Not here to see me. You're here to see them. But I
No,
the Nephilim and this like this is the great deception that's getting ready to happen that was talked about in Revelations, the book of Revelation. That I that they're going to use this to get one world order, and they're going to make it so that this is how our countries unite. And that's just my like uneducated opinion as a layperson. I'm just a layperson. I'm not a fancy person with
no,
degrees.
I agree with you. I think that you're right.
yeah, all three of us have the exact same thought on that. And that's kind of why I was laughing because you being new, but yet you came up with exactly what Mike and I both believe.
Yeah, yeah. Rebecca says, absolutely 100%, Christy. Um, you know,
Scary. It's scary. Dr. Stephen Greer needs to stop trying to contact these things. Like, don't interact. I
right.
know that.
I can barely hear you, Christy. I don't know if you can hear her. Can you hear her get through?
She actually breaks up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Uh,
I don't have like fancy.
She sounds really her volume's low. I tried to boost her.
I'm sorry. Is it
the,
better?
vo- the,
I
the
want
volume
everybody.
is fine, Mike. It's just she cuts in and out.
Okay.
I
All right.
probably I live in the county. I'm so sorry. I need to get better Wi-Fi. But
Oh no, you're fine. I just want everybody to hear you because
No,
I think what you have to say is important.
yeah, I was actually just like making a joke, but it's actually like not a joke. Dr. Stephen Greer, please stop. Please stop trying to contact these things because they are not good. They are demons. So
and Christy, we actually have this connectivity problem when we do touch on the witches or the vampires. We
oh
seem to have all kinds of technical issues.
oh
Like somebody doesn't want this to get out.
yeah, because it says I have full bars and I have full service. So
Yeah, yep,
it's weird. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
yeah,
I'm professional.
yeah. No, it's not you. It is they don't want the truth to get out.
Okay.
And that is what we are doing. We are exposing the truth. We are exposing not only the witches, we are exposing the vampires, we are exposing how high up it actually goes in the pecking order of the, shall we call them, the elites that rule us,
Yeah.
the ones that seem to live off adrenochrome.
And I'm super excited to hear about this tonight because honestly, I'm not well versed in the vampires or the witches, so I'm super excited to be here to learn with the rest of the rest of the audience members. So
Right. I was watching somebody in chat. Brooks, you're talking about JP or JC? Uh, I want to make sure he remains respectful. Um, yeah, it must be JP.
Correct.
Also, Johnny Calories. Uh, we know that she is a beautiful young lady, and I think one time is enough. Uh, moving on.
I missed out on something.
I watch chat. I have chat that flies past me while I'm doing this, and I try to keep up with everything. I don't do such a good job, but
Right.
sometimes I'm real good at it. Sometimes I miss a lot. But you know,
Sorry if they're making fun of me for messing up. I'm sorry.
but you know,
No, actually, they were paying you a compliment.
Oh, that's thank you.
yes, just over and over and over, and a little more each time. But that's all right. We got good moderators. They'll make sure it stays good.
Yep.
You know, also, if you look at, you know, the other channels, and I'm not going to say anybody, but me and Kirk, we have noticed even some channels that we didn't think would go that route went that route, and I'm not knocking them for it. I mean, if that's really what they believe, that's what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
you know, to come out and say, well, we're not going to post your stuff anymore. We can't be friends because you're going to talk about this.
That's great.
It kind of makes me question their integrity, and where does your heart lie?
Where are their ethics and morals? Yeah.
Right. Because you know they're talking about aliens, and I thought this was really weird whenever they said this. They said that the whistleblower right now that's at the Senate talking about the aliens,
Mm-hmm.
he had all of his statements were pre-approved by the DOD.
Mm.
Yeah, imagine that.
Now, how many whistleblowers do you know that goes and gets their stuff approved by the company they're whistleblowing on? That's not what a whistleblower is.
Right. Yeah, but what that is, that's called a soft disclosure. That is nothing more than what the government actually wants to put out on their own, but they can't do it because it would make them look like they've been a liar the entire time. And this is only going to make it look like, okay, some of the people in the government are liars. Others have plausible deniability.
Right. And a happy birthday to Queen Rose. Looks like it's her birthday today.
Happy birthday, Rose.
Happy birthday. Hope it's awesome.
And, you know, I don't know. And, you know, you even look at your candy factories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oreo has the Leviathan cross on their cookies. Have you noticed that?
Yep.
I was looking at that today. The CBN done a news article about it, and they were talking about Oreo cookies is now part of the cult, that they're putting the cult cross on the cookies. And they took these little kids outside, and they take food coloring and they put it on the brush, and they brush it across the top of the cookie, push it against the paper, and pull it off, and there's your perfect Leviathan cross.
Oh, God. They've gotten blatant.
Well, that's just like that. Just like that last movie, Hocus Pocus 2, I believe it was, where they actually cast a spell, a true spell, on the movie.
Yeah, I read that. They said the producers knew that they were going to do it too, and actually asked them to do it, kind of like pushed them to do it, you know.
Yep.
Hey, like maybe some of the guests are like me, but I hadn't actually heard that. Would you all have the time that a little bit more in detail? Because this is intriguing. This is crazy.
To do what now?
Could you talk a little bit more about that? Just because I haven't heard it, and maybe other guests haven't either. That's shocking.
Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah.
Was one. You have Monsters Inc. came out, and supposedly they were referencing the adrenochrome. It wasn't Screams.
Yep.
You've got the Lion King, where he lays down and sex, comes out from the dust that flies out. You have, you have cartoons now that are Luciferian, to where they have good and bad demons, and you got kids rooting for the good demons. And to me, it's kind of like what the witches are doing with the white and dark light. There is no good magic.
Yeah, there is no good.
It's all bad.
It's
But children
Right.
are so impressionable that if you can make them think that, you don't have to be the bad witch, you can be Glinda, you can be the good witch. And what they don't realize is it's all the same thing.
Yep.
The witches are actually dealing with demons, and each time that witch deals with a demon, that demon wants a little bit more back in return, and a little bit more the next time, and a little bit more the next time, until the so-called white witch, good witch, there's no difference whatsoever between her and the most evil witch that there is, because there can't be. She now owes these demons. She owes Satan. And that is one thing Satan is good at. Satan collects on all his debts.
Oh yeah, he's going to want a little more each time.
Yep.
Until eventually you
Right.
have nothing else to give.
Right.
Like you said on Hocus Pocus, with them doing real spells, there is some good that comes out of movies. The Passion of the Christ, there was a lot of people that were saved because of that movie. So it goes to show that these spirits are working through the media, and not just movies, but through what we allow into here and how we process it.
Rambo weren't a bad one either.
But it's just right now.
Just saying.
Mel Gibson just put out a very controversial movie, and he can't even come back to the United States right now. He's afraid for his life.
Right.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about some of that here in just a little bit. We're going to talk about their rituals and where they do their rituals. And I have a confidential informant that contacted me from Belgium and gave me a lot of insight.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to dig some toenails into the mattress here in a minute, because it's going to get good. These people, and I'll get emails for until the next live, and that's what happens to me, because I end up doing that. That's just what I do. I'm used to it. Well, let's see what else I got on my little hit list, or my my talking points. I mean, yeah, it says that. Listen to this. I think this was really interesting. Witches, warlocks, all practitioners of the cult, and all believers in satanic and Luciferian. 98% of them believe in aliens.
Oh. Of course.
The other 2% are dead. No, not really. But but there's reasoning for it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just lost all volume again. I'll be right back. Let me reset this.
Okay. And whenever you look at it, Christy, I was wondering to myself, and I do that. I even talk to myself whenever. I always tease people and say, hey, whenever
all do. It's fine.
Right. Well, whenever I want, professional advice, I ask myself, right? No, but no, I asked myself. I was like, why would that many? Why would they believe in aliens? What is the significance and the relationship between it? And when I was looking deeper and deeper, have you noticed that people that do the tarot card readings, that do the remote viewing, that do your fortunes and all that. Have you ever noticed that all them people that do that,
Mhm.
they believe in aliens, but if our theory is right, which I believe it is, the aliens are demons, familiar spirits, then that would give them a look into the past. And then I got to thinking about, okay, mediums also predict the future, right? So I dug deep into that. Did you know they only get the future right by just a margin of 9%?
I did not know that, but I would believe it.
They only get the future.
That's
But
super.
now, but the scary part,
Mm.
they get the past right 98% of the time.
Well, yeah, it's already happened. Of course, they lens for that.
And that's what I thought. I was like, why? And whenever you look into it, the demons have been here for eternity. They have seen it happen.
They
So
got
they,
cast out attorney ago. Like, yeah, like you're saying, like, yeah, it's the Nephilim. I'm telling you, like,
right. And they can tell you what's happened because they was there.
Yeah.
Now they can't tell you the future very accurately because
Yeah.
God is still in control and God hasn't written the future yet.
Yep.
You
And
know,
they're not omnipresent like we think that they are. Like they don't know everything that's past, future, present like God. They can only see what's already happened, not what's going forward. So speak up again, like as a new person. But no,
oh,
I'm
you, no,
I'm
you're
really
fine.
conversation. So I think, oh, it's really interesting. So
Oh no, you're fine. I was looking my StreamYard went kind of crazy for a second and glitching out and glitching in, but we're back. Uh, and I thought that was interesting because
super interesting. Yeah.
uh, what was it? Oh, and another thing is they talk about these aliens show up, and the more and more that they predict people's past and future and all that, the aliens require more of their time, more and more and more and more. Well, the reason they're requiring more of your time is because, have you ever noticed, and I was looking into this, I don't know if a lot of y'all have looked into this, but a person that is possessed by a demon, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I went through my schooling, we had to take a small psychology test, and we had to go through a little bit of schooling for it to make sure that we're not sentencing people that aren't mentally able to defend themselves. And one of the things that you look at in the courts and law enforcement, they're very hesitant to admit that there is possession. But if you will notice, a person most of the time that we'll say is allegedly possessed will have eating disorders, drinking disorders. They will be hoarders. They will take things to excess because a demon can never get enough. And if even if that person is full of the devil and they come after you, they want more from you, more from you, more from you, and they will destroy themselves trying to destroy you. And
Right.
that's kill, steal, and destroy. That's his mission. It's I don't know. I know that Christy might be able to give us some insight on what people are seeing on airplanes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, and I probably need to go and like get some light. Like, sorry, I came out here thinking it was daylight still, and it was gonna last. Clearly, it's getting dark. But yeah, some of the airplane stuff that's been going on right now.
I'm just going to say there is something that does not want me on this show tonight.
Oh, no.
Everything that can go wrong on this end is going wrong, and it should not be going wrong.
No, we're being cut out on purpose, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell he's having trouble because his camera angle keeps changing too.
Yeah. Let me go turn on some lights. I'll be right back. But yeah, just yeah, and I know you're like the viewers that you all have, like they don't know me. I travel for work, guys, so I have 18 manufacturing facilities that I see after, and so I travel for work all the gosh dang time. And when I saw that lady recently that came on camera and she was accusing this guy being a reptilian and everything, and I was thinking, what would I do? And I was like, I'd get off that damn plane immediately. I'll leave it up there for discussion, but listen, don't judge me. But I wouldn't be sitting there, would you? I mean, heck no. Like, And I think that we're seeing that more and more. So,
Right, and it makes you wonder, what are the people really seeing?
what are people really seeing? And then why are we not believing them? Like, literally, I
I
don't know.
think people don't believe them because we're being programmed not to.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get some lights on.
Okay.
Just so I'm not like here. But yeah, I think so too. And I'm super nervous to say that out loud because I know I'm new to the discussion and new to the group, and the viewers are probably going to come at me in comments and say like, "Oh, you're crazy! Like you shouldn't think that." But no, like I can tell you, if that was me and I saw something like that on an airplane, I'd be getting my butt off of it and trying to warn people immediately because I am a
Yeah,
believer.
Frida, I'm okay.
Oh, you're back. I'm glad.
I'm back. Like
Yeah,
I said, something does not want me in this show tonight, or somebody.
it may be more. It may be more than just my end on my server. It may be something maybe deeper. We'll have to look into
Yep.
that.
Yep. Well, when I get done here, I'll call and my buddy again and have him look deeper into what's going on.
You know, I want to get your all's opinion, if that's okay, Christy. If I call you out on your first show, might have ran her off. I want to get your opinion. What is your thoughts, Kurt, on sleep paralysis? Is it sleep paralysis or is it something else?
It's something else. You actually have a demon basically trying to take over your body at the time. And it's funny, and I'm going to touch on a very controversial subject. And you didn't know I was going to touch on this, but yet we've talked about this once before. There is another channel that has not been around all that long, maybe a couple years. But that particular channel, the owner of it, about 12 years ago, contacted me because they thought that a cryptid was coming into their bedroom at night and literally causing them issues. Well, when I started digging into things, that particular owner of that channel, who at the time didn't have a channel, but that particular person actually was having a succubus visit them. And quite frankly, if anybody knows what a succubus does, it was doing exactly what they say it does. And it was visiting her about every other night.
That's crazy.
I did tell the lady that she needed to get a hold of a priest and or preacher. She needed the house cleansed. She very possibly needed an exorcism.
Yeah.
And because it was not a cryptid, she said she could deal with cryptids, but not demons, because it was not a cryptid. I guess I wasn't needed anymore, and she didn't want my advice. That's fine. You know, we leave it at that. I, of course, have always wished her the best of luck, but I often wonder how things went for her.
And Christy, would you like to talk a little bit about sleep paralysis? Any ideas or theories that you may have?
I've suffered from sleep paralysis since I was a child. And the weird thing is that, well, first I didn't know what it was, right? And I grew up in like a county area, southern area. You don't really talk about paranormal. So wasn't something I was like really encouraged to be talking about. Not that my parents like meant anything bad about it, but the thing that I never understood was that with sleep paralysis, most people report like seeing demons or that or like ghosts in their room. I've never done that. I just woke up and not been able to move. Most of my stuff like was visual, like more like it would be like audible, where I would hear something. I wasn't seeing things, but I would be actually hearing somebody like that. I wish I had a better answer for you, and I wish I had answers for it because it sucks. Because I go through it actually every week, um, where I experience it. It's not pleasant. I wake up next to my husband, like trying to mumble out words because I can't move, and he has to shake me awake, and that's how I get out of it. Um, so I guess long story short, I don't have any awesome answers. Please don't blow me up. I'm just trying to be very candid and honest about my experiences. But I haven't had the same type of sleep paralysis that other people do. And my husband, um, who is not a believer in paranormal at all, he didn't start becoming more open to it until he started having sleep paralysis. And he started, and with his, like, he was seeing things. And for him he's very agnostic, very much type stuff. Um, so it's just kind of like really changed our household for the better. It's good. It's positive, but long story short, that one. Really just telling you what I went through. So I'm sorry, guys. I am so
No,
good.
no, no.
I'm this. I am not good at this.
I'd like to address a question that we just had asked.
Okay.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, they're frauds. Okay. Point blank. Yeah, they may talk to demons. Hell, any of us can talk to a demon if you wanna. I personally think you're crazy as hell if you want to talk to a demon.
Thank you.
But that's all they're doing. As far as them ridding demons from houses, nah. They're, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but they're not religious enough.
On the sleep paralysis, I experienced it whenever I was working. I was working a job, and where I was working was a haunted area, and I was having to go check buildings late at night by myself.
Sure.
And I was called out to a lot of areas by myself, and sometimes knowing that my backup could be over an hour away, and I would go into these large buildings and would hear little kids laughing,
Yep.
adult conversations, doors shutting, it sounded like the business was opened. It
Yep.
Sometimes it was like there was still people conducting business.
Yep.
And I had a lot of my under officers had told me that this was going on, and I thought, they're just scared because it was a scary place and they were alone. And a lot of the younger officers that come in, they are 21, 22 years old, and they're just getting their feet wet. And well, we had one officer. He also was in the military. He was a very good officer, and I'd just like to say to his wife that I still think about him, and I'm sorry for your loss. He took his life,
Mm.
but
I'm sorry to hear that, Mike.
yeah, he took his life at 22. But he he said there's something in here, and nobody believed him. We thought he was just scared. So one night, he takes off running, and he allegedly had ran from the building and had left the patrol unit and everything sitting just in the parking lot, and he ran in uniform probably a half a mile to another store. And we went in and we pulled the security cameras, and you can see him sitting in the office. Everything's normal. He's checking things out, looking around,
Mhm.
doing his notes, everything. And then you see him kind of like look, and it's like he saw something inside of the building. So you grab the main camera, which was in the middle, and it's on a timer where it spins,
Oh no.
and you can see for a second
Oh
it
no.
looks like a man or a ghost or something, not real tall, go across the windows. And at the same time it does that, he looks, and we're like, okay, we saw this on camera. He's seen it. Something happened. So not only does that happen, you see him walk out into the opening of the building, and we're viewing this on camera,
Mm-hmm.
and he grabs his ears and he runs. And I mean, he is running for his life. And we're watching him on all the cameras, and he's running down the hallways, and he's looking all around him and looking behind him, and he's running. And when he's running down the hallway is lit. And then out into the main part of this building, it's a little bit dimmer because they ran their overnight security lights and the main lights were off. As he's running down that hallway and you see him look back, you see something cross the
No.
hallway down there. Like
No,
it
they-
had, oh yeah, it followed him to the hallway. He runs out the doors. And when he runs out the doors, these are two heavy doors. It's got the emergency push bar on them. He hits them and knocks them wide open. They come back together, but when they come back together, they don't come back right. One shuts and the other one shuts on top of it. So then you have a security breach of the building, which will, within at that building was 1 minute, would set off the alarm to the police department saying that there was a breach, right?
Oh my god.
The door pushes open, the other door pushes open, shuts, and secures itself with nobody there. So the next night, I said, I'll work it for you. So I went there the next night by myself.
I would have been like, heck no.
Oh, well, I had to know because I always told my officers I would never make them do something I wouldn't.
And I respect it. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'd be
So-
like, I'm out. Like,
So I went in there and I was dreading it. I dreaded it huge. I didn't want to do this. And I go in there and I'm like, you know what? I was at a position to where I was I believe a lieutenant at the time. So I had a lot of downtime if I wanted it because of my position. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go sit in the office at this place, do my paperwork, take the calls, whatever, and we'll see what happens. So I'm sitting in there, and I'm sitting in the security office. They have bulletproof glass around the whole front of it, or bullet resistant, sorry, not bulletproof, bullet resistant glass. And while I'm sitting there, I see a shadow run past. And I'm like, now there can be, I was like, there can be nobody in here because we have all of the, they have what they call motion detectors all over. and they were set, and
Mm-mm.
no alarm. And I was like, there's
No.
no way nothing went through there that it did not trip the alarm. So I'm sitting there and I'm doing my paperwork. I'm trying to make excuses up for everything. And I hear a little girl giggling.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
You're freaking me out.
okay. I'm like, some kids have stayed in here that's not supposed to stay in here, but how are they not tripping the alarm? I don't know. Maybe somebody's in one of the buildings. It was at a mall, is where this was at, and I was like, maybe somebody's in one of the mall buildings, but they got their gates down and they're secured. So I go out and I start looking to see if anybody's in after hours or whatever. Nobody's on the log for after hours, so I'm looking. Nobody's in there. I get back to the office. I shut the door, and I never do this. I lock the door, and I sit down and I'm like, what is really going on? And then I hear a door slam. A
Oh.
door just slams, and the whole building just echoes this door. So I get up and I walk down this dark hallway, all the way, and it just curves. So I'm walking down this dark hallway, and you can hear, like, it sounds like something maybe whistling, or somebody whistling, like working. I walk down there. There ain't nothing there. So I end up coming back up to the office, to the main office, and I'm like, I'm going to watch the security cameras just to see if I can catch something on camera without me out there walking around. So I'm sitting there moving the cameras around. I'm looking everywhere. And the next thing I know, I see the women's bathroom door. When the janitors do their job at night, they're made to leave the doors opened on all the bathrooms. That way that bathroom has been secured, nobody's in it, it's been checked. Okay. I go to that camera and I see the women's bathroom door shut. I'm like, okay, they're in the bathroom. So I go down there. Nobody's in the bathroom. Well, later on that night, it's time to go home. Shift's about to end. I call in, say I'm fixing to leave. I go down. I set the main alarm, put the password in, getting ready to step out the main door, shut them to arm the whole place. And whenever I go to step outside, I hear the toilet flush in the bathroom, which is right by the security room.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh man, somebody's in there. So I go back, and you're by yourself. And I walk in there, opening each stall slowly at a time. Walking down through there, just waiting to see somebody standing on the toilet looking at you, with a clown mask on or whatever. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. Nobody's in there.
Oh, you're freaking me out. No.
So I go to shut the door to the main building as I'm leaving, and you kind of have to shut it kind of hard close, and we shake it, to make sure it locks. And just as I go to shut it, I hear a voice say, goodbye.
Oh.
And I shut the door. The next day, I was at home. It was daytime. It was in the morning. And I was awake in my bed. I had woke up, but I could not move. I could not breathe. Something was choking me. I could feel it around my neck. And I could look out my bedroom door and I could see my dad laying on the couch.
Oh.
And I was trying to yell for him because it was scary. And I was in my mind, I kept thinking, if I could just knock my alarm clock off, Dad will hear that and come in here. And I couldn't even move my arms or anything.
Mm-mm.
And I remember I was just like struggling, and I could not move. It was the most awful feeling in the world. I could see, I could hear, I could think, I could feel. I knew everything around me. I just could not move.
Nope.
And then finally, in my mind, I said, Jesus, help me. As soon as I did that, I was released immediately. And I went to my captain and I told him what had happened. We were just talking about it. And he was Catholic. And he told me, he said, they believe that that's a demon holding you down and all that. And he said, what you need to do is have a secret word in your mind and not tell anybody else. And when that happens, that is your word of protection. And he said, make it scriptural and it'll release you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it happened to me again. My little boy was laying beside me. He was like 4 years old. And he was moving and playing and everything. I could not move.
Oh my
I
god.
could hear him, feel him, and everything, see him, but I couldn't move. I done what my captain said, and it released me, and it hasn't happened to me since. But now, whenever I go to bed, I actually pray for protection in my sleep,
Again.
and I've never had it happen to me since then.
No.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I do not pray for protection. What I pray for my loved ones. I pray for my friends. I pray for those actually that are my enemies, that they will come to know the Word of God.
Mhm.
And, you know, I I just prefer to put others before me. I figure I got broad shoulders. I can shoulder anything that I need to shoulder, and I have no problem answering to God for anything I've ever done. I would rather that I spend the time praying for those others that need it just the way I am.
Right. You know, a person asked, can you get attachments by watching scary movies? I think it's very possible. I think it's a doorway. I think it's an opening. I think it's
Yep.
you know, a seed, if you will. Uh, you know, the old saying, everybody has two dogs inside of you. You
Yeah.
have a bad dog and a good dog, and
Yeah.
they say, which one wins? It's the one you feed the most. Uh,
And I'm going to throw this out there. That's not necessarily always true because some people have a good dog and a bad dog. But if you harness the bad dog to do good, then you're that much ahead of the game.
yeah, but can you trust that
You
dog?
know,
I
no,
don't know.
no, you have to be the master of that dog.
Yeah.
You
And
have
that
to not
leads us right
let
into the next
it.
thing that we was going to talk about. Exactly. A lot of witches,
Exactly, and that's why I brought that up.
a
Like,
lot of witches
And
claim to be Christians,
right,
yeah.
that
but
is correct. They are
but we
not
know
though.
no, we know that Jesus said that you cannot serve two masters.
Correct.
So, I mean, the deception that they try to present is pretty deep. I mean, Chronicles 10:13. One of the reasons that God cut King Saul's life short was because he consulted a medium,
Yep.
and if that doesn't tell you, God, warns us about necromancy, and if He's willing to
It,
cut somebody's life short because they went to a medium, just think about how unsafe it is for you to be practicing this or even using these methods.
well, in 1700, it was estimated that worldwide there were approximately 25,000 witches worldwide. Today, we have 3 million admitted witches in the United States alone. Rita, yeah, but on the other hand, point blank, Jesus Christ gave his life for us. Okay. He paid the ultimate price for our salvation. Now, I'm not in any means comparing myself to Jesus Christ, but what I am doing is saying that I love everybody, and I'm the type that wants to build everybody up. You don't tear other people down, you build them up. You help them to succeed in anything they're doing. So, yeah, I would rather spend my time praying for all the other people than worrying about myself, because someday I'm going to stand before God. I'm going to say, yes, yes, sir, I did that. And it's either going to please him and he's going to admit me into heaven, or it's going to displease him and he's going to throw me to the depths of hell. It's not my choice, it's God's choice. All I can do is be the best person that I can be, follow the word of God, profess that Jesus Christ is my Savior. And that's it.
And I need to borrow some money before something gets you.
And I'm sorry if I'm coming across as a preacher or however you would want to say it, but I'm just speaking from the heart.
I think both of us would back you right now and say the same thing. I won't speak for Mike, but I think knowing him and talking.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. I would encourage people to read Revelation 21:8.
Very good, Mike.
It's going to answer a lot of your questions.
And I'm trying to think of the scripture in Deuteronomy, but when we get off here, I'll have to post a link to it. There is a very good passage in Deuteronomy that I would really love to see everybody read and everybody understand.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not so much about, I don't pray for myself, I pray for others. I pray for loved ones. I pray for everybody. I want to see everybody succeed. I would love, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I would love to see every single soul on this earth end up in heaven. Everybody accept Jesus Christ as their Savior and end up in heaven. That would be my ultimate dream come true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your witches, your covens, some of them profess to be Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them profess to be white witches, that they are good. Lisa, I'll address that in a minute. But as God said, you can't serve two masters.
You can't. No. Sir.
And no magic is good.
Mm-mm.
It goes against God's word.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lisa had brought up something about a succubus.
Yeah.
That's in the comments. Is that something that I can address?
I think pretty much. I would tell her probably our opinion on it, and we know somebody that,
Well, a succubus is spelled right out. A succubus is a demon that actually comes and has sex with the individual while they're asleep. They will wake up during it, and it may be one time, it may be 100 times before the succubus will actually show its true demon form.
Tamara, yes, it's
all witchcraft is evil. White, black, it doesn't matter. God sees no color.
We're gonna go deep now. we're probably going to ruffle some feathers the road we're fixing to travel.
Hell, I'm good at that. Been doing that my whole life.
And I would encourage anybody that if you have any children in the room, or you are uh, not good with subjects of, you know, people losing their lives or torture or things of that nature, you may not want to watch this part. Uh, I feel it's important because it is truth, and it's what I was threatened over,
Don't take some-
and this is what the other channels told me not to discuss. That they will not be my friend anymore. They will not publish my content if I do.
Mike, can I stop you for just a minute and address Keith? Keith, the particular one that I said, a succubus is, quote, a female demon, as you say, that goes after men, unless the particular target is a lesbian. Then the succubus will appear to the lesbian, and it'll appear as to women, which is what this particular one was.
Right. I'm going to let you talk a little bit more of that. I got to move something real quick before I dive into the second thing.
No problem. So, I mean, yeah, that's what this particular situation was this lady was actually not a lesbian, but a bisexual. And as far as I'm concerned, there's not a lot of difference. But she was actually having the succubus appear to her as another woman. And she's not sure how many times it appeared, but she would say it was at least 30. And there were times that she would wake up in the morning, have scratches and marks on her that were unexplainable. I did go twice to visit her at her house during this investigation. The marks on her, literally, she could not reach to make herself. So it was not something that could have been done in her sleep. And the shape of the scratches did not match the shape of her fingernails. So, Mike, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. Yeah. What we're going to talk about, I received first it was an email and then a short phone call from an individual. We're going to talk about a group of people that like to go by the name Mothers of Darkness. It's a very touchy subject for a lot of people, especially witches out there. So, you know, hold on to your broomstick, because here we go. The Mothers of Darkness are a large international witch covenant. They stretch way back. Well, I done a video the other night, and if a lot of y'all were there, you heard me talk about these hunts that rich people would have, to where they would hunt young children. The outcome was the children were to be disposed of by morning.
Right.
Okay, this person used to be part of that and gave me some inside information. There is a castle. It's located in Belgium, which is the same castle that I was talking about whenever we had the last live.
Correct.
It is considered the most evil place on earth. It's heavily guarded, cameras, tripwires, etc., etc. It also has what some people say even landmines that surround this place. That's how secretive this place is. Now, what a lot of people don't know, and this is probably going to get me in trouble with our Britain viewers or our British viewers, is this castle the first person to ever inhabit this castle was said to be the first ever and the true first bloodline of Dracula. Guess who Dracula was related to and who the castle was given to from Dracula?
Can I guess, or would you like to tell the viewers?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go on. I'll let you do this honor.
Let's
I'm-
just say, do what, Lisa or Christy?
Oh no, I was saying I'm in all shock right now, so I don't know. Like, tell me, please.
Let's just say God save the Queen.
Oh my.
And
Yep.
then the castle was given to that royal family.
Yeah.
That royal family allegedly
Allegedly.
participated in these rituals, which is where the Red Shoe Club got heavily involved.
That's not Red Shoe. That's Sapphire Slipper.
But children's skin makes the best leather. And
Yep.
so I went down and I done some looking, and to every large organization, if you want to find the tops, the head of the snake, you follow the money.
Follow the money and find out who you cannot criticize in it.
Oh my god.
Well, when you follow the money, you'll find out some of the money that was used to fund this came from Switzerland.
Gee.
So when people say, "Oh, I'm neutral, I'm Switzerland," not exactly true, because in the World War,
Right.
Switzerland had a part of that. They were just behind the scenes funding.
Right.
Now, the witches and allegedly the royal family, allegedly the vampires, and the mothers of darkness all allegedly made a covenant with the Illuminati.
Yep.
If you read deeper, you'll find that the royal family, the Dracula, their family, they are of high value, high prestige. They have a lot of power. But as you read, it doesn't out and out say that it is, but you can tell that the Illuminati has a lot more power.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they say jump, they don't say how high till they're already in the air.
Well, let me say this, Mike. The last time there was a true calling of the vampires, where the vampires were called home, was when Dracula, which I shouldn't call him that, Vlad the Impaler, called the vampires home, and they waged war on the Ottoman Empire. And yeah, it was about 40,000 vampires. And how many 100,000 Ottoman warriors were killed? You know, the things that they did to those people literally would scare the hell out of a normal individual. And let's face it, that was 500 years ago plus, and it's still being talked about today.
Well, he laid the people on his dinner table and dipped his bread in their blood as they was dying and consumed it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was quite the dark gentleman that you sure wouldn't want to be asked out to a dinner date by. Christy, if we keep you and you need to go for anything, just let us know anytime.
Oh no, I appreciate it.
Okay. I don't want to keep you or hurt your back.
No, you're fine. And I did just realize that I apologize to all your viewers. my kids were sitting out here for like a lot of this because they're older, and they were like, "Mom, like literally bringing your hands to your face for horror." Like, it's scary. I was like, "Oh, I keep forgetting I'm on video. I'm sorry."
Not a worry at all. Just be yourself. That's what people like. Just be who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Just
but
be yourself.
saying like scary stuff, I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" And then my son kept going, "Stop, like, Mom, stop!" Like, but he was like, like waving at me. So
You're doing fine. I've been trying not to pick my nose this whole time. Uh,
I'm like, "Oh my god!" Oh.
um, on the channel, I can't produce these pictures to the channel, but CNBC, CNN, 60 Minutes, all tried to get pictures inside of this castle. They were all turned down, but this individual says he will send me 3 photographs of inside of this castle that have never been seen.
No, he'll send you 2. I'll send you the 3rd.
Oh, he says he has 3.
Okay,
And one
well,
of
then
them
you'll
is,
have 4.
he said one of them is the picture of the Mother of Darkness herself.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to put it on the Patreon.
Yeah.
I looked at YouTube, and as far as their guidelines and everything, that will violate me. And
Yep.
That's the only place I can produce it. So
Hell, Mike, I'm surprised I don't violate you.
I'm not even going to touch that. Uh,
I just mean with the subjects that I touch on,
yeah,
they're so controversial.
Bad grandpa. That's what I call him sometimes, is bad grandpa.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it for so long, I must be good at it.
Clear. Yes.
Young children are taken to this castle. A lot of people don't know this. Your witches don't just one day decide to be a witch. Most of them are programmed at a young age. They are taken to these places and they are programmed. They are taught the ways of the devil, the magic, how to do the magic, symbolism. They even learn how to write in the spells, how to write the spells, and how to. They even believe that they can't write them, that if they can picture the symbolism onto things, that will even work for them. So I mean, it goes really dark.
Can I touch on that for a minute?
Sure.
Witches, actually, you have two variations of witches, shall we say. You have what I will call the legacy witch, which is a witch that was born of a witch mother. Okay, she has the power already inside her. It is passed down. Then there is your person that decides to become a witch and makes the pact with Satan. And quite frankly, there is shall we say, the ceremony that they go through is a very powerful ceremony to them. It is a very horrendous ceremony to us. There's always a life lost, and that life is the debt that must be paid to become the witch. That's just like your skinwalker in Native American legend. A skinwalker is nothing more than a Native American witch. Once more, there was a price to be paid for that individual to become a witch. That price was the sacrifice of a loved one. It should be a young loved one. The preferred age was about 3 years to about 10 years old. And just in my opinion, the reason for that is At that point in time, they're easily scarable, or they're scared, or adrenochrome that their body manufactures. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, y'all have probably heard of this. He said a lot of people were fooled into watching this movie and thinking that it was a good movie when it actually was touching on reality.
Hmm.
They have a party at this castle, and it's called Eyes Wide Shut Parties.
Yep.
And the thing, I'm going to see if I can uh, tame this enough to people can get the idea. So they take a child in front of an audience, and the child doesn't go home. Let's put it that way. There's a link in my Patreon. I have a warning on it. You can go on it and look at it. It'll describe what happens. It's terrible. I shared it with Kurt. It actually, I've seen a lot of bad things, and it's bothersome. It bothered us both. What the children go through. It is Satan at his best. Videos at this place are very common to be made with blackmail. A lot of your top officials will go there and have encounters with allegedly children.
Yep.
Everything in this castle is recorded. Just picture the little, what's that show on TV, where everybody's in that house. They record everything. Pretty much that kind of an atmosphere. It gets worse. There's a guy, and he has, thank God, been arrested. His name is Betrot. All the Britons know him. He used to get phone calls before this party would happen, and he was told how many children to bring.
Right.
That's
And they were,
literally. Oh my God. Sorry.
They were told to be dressed as presents to the people that were invited.
Yep.
He would go and snatch them out of houses, away from single mothers, right in front of them. And that's happening in America right now. We talked about that the other day, Kirk and I.
That is correct.
They will come up to you now and they will take your kids right out of your arms. They don't care. Moving on. Children at this.
That was Skull and Bones, Beverly. It's totally different.
Yeah, I think we will talk about that someday.
Yeah.
The children are taken to this castle. One girl in particular came forward. There's a special night. All the adults wear wolf masks, most of them, and some wear pigs. The children are dressed very, very nicely until midnight. Then they're placed in just tennis shoes. And they're told they're going to play a game of hide and go seek. Allegedly, the kids all run, and they're hunted by these atrocious, sick, possessed humans.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They catch the children.
No,
in the woods,
please don't say it. Oh my gosh, that's
and
awful.
they do heinous acts. The children that do leave the woods
Mm-mm.
are taken back to their rooms,
And it's even worse.
and they're told they're to be gone by morning. We'll put it like that. There's more on the Patreon if y'all are interested. Now
As
there's some. I'm sorry.
as a mother, I can tell you that that is frightening. Probably like literally bringing tears to my ears. That's horrible. That's horrible.
I would just like to say
Mm-mm.
I'd like to spend a day there.
But true.
Children won't have to worry, but
No, I know it's true, and like I know it's accurate. But it's like really hard to hear that like as a mom, you know.
Well, the guy's name, the true guy I was telling you about,
sure.
most of his victims that he would find, and these ages were from like newborns
Uh-uh.
to
Normally 7 to 12 though was the preferred age.
Oh,
the older women, which older to them was your college students. And the things they done to them, I'm not even going to go into because I can't hear. But he had boys that were part of certain groups at certain colleges, and they would get these girls intoxicated, drugged. Some of them stayed in the United States, and some of them were sent overseas
oh my
to where
gosh.
rich people pay to have their fun with.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
That's no. No, thank you. I'm
The
glad
world is
about
not what it used to be.
the truth, but it's also like don't be upset about like my reaction to it because it's just like having kids. It's hard to hear that. So,
I have become calloused in my job to it. It bothers me deeply.
it's horrible. It's
It
horrible.
is, well, there's not even words. I mean, I'm just going to say it. To me, hell's not good enough for these people.
No.
To me, I'd just like to send them there. I'd like to do my part.
Me too. And I'm sorry to the viewers that like I'm like getting emotional about like talking about this, but just like as a mom, it's like a little difficult to like hear some of this stuff and know it's real and know that my kids are out there in the world. So I'm sorry. Don't judge me. Please don't
No,
blame
no,
me.
Christy. The unfortunate part is I've seen some of this. I know it's real.
And it's
Like I
just hard
said, I
as
want
a
to send them to hell
me
in
too.
no certain terms.
No, me too, and I'll help you. And I'm sorry, and I don't want the viewers to think like, oh, you're an awful co-host because you're getting emotional about this. It's like, no, it's just hard to
Not
hear.
at all.
It's hard to
Not
hear.
at all. You're being wonderful. You are doing a good job. And if this did not touch and pull on your heartstrings, then there would be something wrong.
Yeah, because I would be I told Mike earlier, it's like I would be the person outside the, the courthouse that like if what
JD Smooth,
got
there is
off.
another island right beside Epstein Island also that is still happening today and it is owned by one of the most powerful politicians today.
And before we get ourselves in trouble, we have to remember that there is people out there watching that are smart, that don't like what we're doing, and will, try to use your words against you to ruin your life. So,
like I said, if they want to come at me first.
Yeah, I worry about Christy.
Oh, and you
I
will
know.
more professional and not do that. I'm sorry.
No. I just people
And
are.
quite frankly, if I have to, I'll go down there and
Very heart-wrenching. Like this, very heart-wrenching to hear.
But I found something in all this, and I want your all's opinion. And I know we cannot go deep into this, not here, anyways, not on this platform.
Not as deep as I'd like to go.
But I did find something, and I thought it was peculiar. It may not mean nothing, but I found this as I was researching. I wanted to get your all's opinion on it.
Mhm.
Y'all know what Belgium is, right?
Sure.
It's the center of NATO and European Union.
Yep.
It's where all nations go to meet. I know. I wanted to too.
God, I want to say something, but I can't.
Say
Let's
it.
just say the Supreme
Everybody,
Court.
all the public. You might as well just say it. At least you'll make me feel better.
Christy, I can't, but I will tell you later. I will fill you in. And
I'm sitting here sobbing and
okay, wait a minute. Let me see just how much I can expand on this without violating terms of service and getting this channel deleted by YouTube.
oh, I don't want that either. No,
That's
okay.
what I don't want to do.
No, I don't.
Okay. Your International Court of The Hague is located over there. It supposedly represents every civilized country in the world. Now, there are a few countries that do not adhere to it
Mhm.
and will not honor their rulings. One of them happens to be Russia. What other powerful country do you think does not adhere to it except when it is in their best interest?
China.
The USA.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna get canceled. Oh my
No,
god.
no, you're fine.
We actually, and this is going to sound very strange to a lot of people. Texas in 1978, there were a group of people in Texas that wanted the state of Texas to secede from the United States. They raised the required number of signatures. They actually took this to the International Court in The Hague. It was ruled in their favor that, yeah, Texas is its own country again.
Oh my god.
United States said no. We do not honor that. We do not go along with that ruling. So, they go along with it when it suits them. When it doesn't suit them, they don't.
Well, they're
Brooke, I know you're from Texas. I've got two weld shops out in Texas, so I'm there quite often. And I'm actually going out to Midland, Texas in about 3 weeks, I think it is, to spend a couple weeks out there. So, yeah, I'm very familiar with Texas.
another thing that they believe, and I found this. They believe that something big is fixing to happen. That it'll be this month. I'm probably going to get in trouble by Kurt here in just a second, but Kurt knows that I tell him everything. Okay, this month I found this information just today. I reached out to some colleagues, and some of them do work overseas in different capacities. And I learned that something big is going to happen this month. As you all know, this month has we have 2 full moons this month.
2 super moons.
That means a lot to the witches. The first moon was the sturgeon moon. It doesn't mean that much to them. It wasn't a big deal. It's the one coming up. I'm going to go to the circle that night because I was told I couldn't.
By me.
Yeah, and another person last night that I haven't showed you yet.
Yeah, well, that means I probably got to come to Oklahoma.
And I'm going to go to this circle because they told me that it wasn't my place to be. They know where it's at, blah, 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 blah. So I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
going to do
they don't know where it's at. If they knew where it's at, they wouldn't be baiting you the way that they are doing. They're
All right.
baiting you so that they can follow you to that circle. And quite frankly, you're going to be the body that is found.
Yeah, they said there would be a body found there, is what they said. But
I'm not going to let him, Sharon.
I'm an old hillbilly, and I guarantee you they're not going to follow me the way I'm going in there. But but that was
I
one of
guarantee I'll invite him to the one up here. Come to it with me.
the another thing that makes them think something big's fixing to happen.
That is correct,
Thousands,
Queen.
thousands of children now have been abducted and kidnapped in Africa and have been shipped to Britain.
That is correct, and it may be higher than that.
Just for this month.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Belgium is reporting records of missing children,
Yep.
even out of the neonatal centers.
Oh,
They're all out collecting children for this month.
that is horrible for everybody on this podcast to hear right now and who's our guest listener. But as a mother, do you know how scary that is? Like, that is frightening.
As a father, yes, I do know how scary it is.
I cut fathers out, and I'm sorry, I don't mean it that way, but I'm like, to hear that as a mom, like, that's triggering. Why are we not looking at stuff? Like, oh my God, that's crazy.
It's
And
because
not-
society is
Fathers out.
accepting sin.
Don't cancel me, but I'm just saying, like, as a mom, like, man, that's horrible.
Quite frankly, and the honest to God truth on it is the people that are in charge will not allow it until there are enough of us that absolutely raise holy hell.
Yep.
Point that they are forced to deal with it or deal with us.
And stop
And that's
following
gonna come.
the crowd. It's okay to go against the crowd sometimes.
Hey,
Yep.
yeah. Just saying that you disagree with somebody doesn't mean you hate them. Like, we can just disagree. That's fine, right?
Correct.
And, oh my gosh.
The only time I hate them is when I might cut their head off or something.
Literally, when they're like abusing children, yeah. I mean, that's horrible.
Yep.
Horrible.
Yeah, for somebody stealing a child, child trafficking, quite frankly, that
Oh.
should be punishment. The
Not-
hell with the trial. Let's forget about the trial. Let's just get it done with and move on with life. Let the children live a good life. Let them be a child.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, like, everybody who's watching it, and I didn't mean to cut dads out of it, but I just meant as a mom, it like, as a female, it's just
Right.
really hard to
You're
it's hard to hear this truth, guys. Like, this is not easy to hear, and I'm sure a lot of people have a hard time hearing. So
Well, you're giving it to us from a mother's point of view and from a female perspective, and we
And that's-
appreciate that.
That's fabulous.
yeah, it's just like, if anybody hurt one of my 3 kids, I'd be like probably the first person in court
protect
You're
them.
100%
To
right.
protect them.
to fight somebody. Yeah. Like,
I'm your attorney right now. We have to be careful. You would protect them at all costs.
100%. I really would. Yeah.
My favorite
I
saying
don't
is
care.
I
I'll
would-
come right out and say it. I'm not tactful when it comes to that.
right. It's definitely sick. It's demonic.
It's demonic.
Sharon, it sickens me to the bone also.
It's sickening to the bone. 100%. Just like that comment that popped up. 100%. Like,
Okay. It gets worse, if you can believe that.
Oh my God.
Please go on.
Oh no.
The guy that I spoke to said this Halloween of this year, is going to be the most dangerous Halloween we've had in a century. They are already practicing voodoo rituals with our children, and voodooism is rising in the United States due to the open border, and it comes out of Mexico very strong.
And
And
Haiti.
it kind of makes you think maybe that's why we're not so strict on them coming over here. And I'll leave that there.
And quite frankly, September 23rd is going to be a very strong ritualistic day also for them because it is the fall equinox. I won't get into the particular rituals that they have, but there will be ritualistic dancing and some other things done during that time.
Oh.
And yeah, sacrifice is part of it.
As we go down the yellow brick road, I guess, a Norwegian Supreme Court justice judge stepped out and said, "It is disheartening and saddening that all these cases against these individuals is being dropped, and they have a very, very low chance of ever punishing any of them. Convictions are very low."
Sure. There is actually less than 3% convicted. And of those 3%, almost 90% actually get probation. So there's no going to prison for it.
Oh my goodness.
And people in the audience, you're going to get a chance to ask questions during this a little bit if I'm missing you. I'm trying to read notes, pay attention, and then watch chat. I've got a lot of notes I had to take today. Moving on down, Britain has reported this month, and allegedly, because I don't live there, it's in their newspaper, but allegedly, the rituals leading up to this year's Halloween are already worse than any year, as they are finding children's
mutilated,
floating in the rivers.
Yep.
Cannibalism is up 80%.
Yep.
And women being abducted from schools, colleges, off the streets, and everywhere is up 93%. I'm going to let you all elaborate on that if you want to before I go into the story that I have. But
awful.
The actual probably worst thing right now would be a woman that is about 8.5 months pregnant.
Oh my
because you're very apt to be kidnapped because of the fact, number one, you're about to give birth to a child. And number two, you are a woman. So, yeah, it's not a good situation.
I hope everybody listening understands that, because I can tell you this. I was talking to Mike earlier, and I know that this is kind of going down a rabbit hole, but I have a child, my oldest is going away to college for the first time, and I'm getting ready to send her out into the world. And do you know how scary it is when you know this kind of thing? This is really scary. And
it is.
It's really scary. It's real. I've had to have conversations with her, don't take drinks from people, don't do this, don't trust people. And it sucks I have to do that, but I've had to. And I'm sure that there's other listeners out there who are probably in that situation. So just so you all know, this is real. It sucks.
Yeah.
And literally brings, you can see I'm crying. It brings me to tears because my daughter's getting ready to go out into that world. And I'm man, it's not fair. It's not fair to her or anybody else. So
Tracy, I'm glad they did not succeed.
Yes, Tamara, it is very scary.
I'm trying to sit here and be quiet, but it's just kind of hard when you hear this kind of stuff and you're
no. We like it when you talk.
Be quiet whatsoever, Christy. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to do.
Well, I just don't know what to do I asked Mike earlier, like, what's the one thing that I can tell my daughter if he could like think keep it safe
Do
and like
not trust anybody,
not trust anybody. And
nobody whatsoever.
yeah, it's like really scary.
Let's get to the story. White witches try to say that they're the good people. They're the good witches.
There is no such thing as white witches. You and I both know that.
So let me tell you a story about how good they are. There was a man that used to help round up the witches that were involved in actual crimes, murdering of children, murdering wives that were pregnant. They were infiltrating midwives and murdering children when they were coming out of the womb.
Right.
They were rounded up, if you would say, by certain posses of people. Well, a man that had done this was at his farm in the middle of nowhere. His wife and his 2 children were enjoying the day. The father had just returned from fishing. He had fish laying on the table, ready to cook, to clean for the family. And then, next thing you know, they're attacked by witches. They come running out of the woods. The father is tackled. He's fighting these women off. The mother's trying to fight them off. And eventually, the father succumbs to him. Of course, you got a pack, you're going to wear out.
Yeah.
They tied him and his wife to the 2 poles he had staked in the ground that he used for cleaning his fish and the hides off his animals. They tied them to it. And they hog-tied the children and left them on the ground. Then, one of the witches walks over and takes one of the pet rabbits out of the cage. Starts petting it. They're all laughing and giggling, having a great time. Another witch walks over to the work table, grabs a knife, cuts a hole in the dad's belly button, walks back over, grabs a piece of wire off of the table, bends a hook in it, sticks it in his stomach, and fishes around until she can pull an intestine out. She then ties it to the dog's collar, and the witch holding the rabbit lets the rabbit go. What do you think happened? The dog chased the rabbit. The mother, witnessing all this, tied to the other stake, they poke and prod at her with their fingernails, scratching her and laughing and poking her and laughing. They take the fish that her husband had caught that would have probably been their meal that night, and they beat her to death with them. Now, I don't know if a lot of you know much about fish, but I do a lot of fishing. Depending on the fish, some of their scales are like razors. They will lay you wide open. Then you're left with the 2 children. They take the 2 children through the woods.
And Gretel.
Oh, yeah. Take them through the woods to their house. Put them in a cauldron. Then they get creek water from a nearby creek, and they start putting the water on the kids. And this water is cold because it's, spring water. So, of course, it kind of puts you in a shock, right?
Right.
But then they start the fire under them. They slowly cook them. Later, they were rounded up by the townspeople, put on poles, honey poured over them, and the men went out and dug up anthills and put them at their feet. You probably know how it goes from there.
Much like the Cherokee would do.
It was, they said justice was served. Very disheartening what they've done. There's another story I found that I was going to share with you guys. There was another man that was also a witch hunter. He was caught. And it wasn't just the witches back then, guys, that was being tortured. It was the people that was rounding them up, too. They caught this particular guy. They placed him in a coffin. In this coffin was a chimney over his face. He thought for sure they were going to burn him in the coffin. They didn't.
No.
They buried him alive.
Yep.
And while he was buried alive, the witches then dropped poisonous snakes, spiders, and scorpions down the chimney. They dropped wasps down the chimney that they had took the wings off of. Until the man stopped screaming and they could barely hear him down there moving about. Then they dropped hot coals down the chimney and plugged off the chimney.
Like I told you before, Mike, they can be very, very evil.
They are very evil. Now, if you notice in a lot of movies, witchcraft is filtered into our movies. You have the black and white chessboards. That is a representation to them showing that God is a being of darkness and of lightness. God is only light. It's another deception that they use.
That is
God
exactly right. And
God
one of the favorite sayings of witches is, well, it's always a balance between dark and light, good and evil, and that we are needed to balance out things. No, you're not needed. Plain and simple.
Now witches have decided if there's a new light that the dark and the white light witches are now worshiping. It's called the blue light. Project Bluebeam, maybe?
Could be.
Just speculatory.
Could be, but in the long run, it's all Satan.
The alien deceptions being pushed, we know, worldwide right in front of our faces. But did a lot of you know that we have Chinese police stations popping up all over America and nobody's saying a word about it?
Sure. Right now, there's like 58 known of in the U.S.
Yes. The full moon of this month, the last super moon on the 31st, the witches are going to be attempting to harvest its energy.
Yep. They will be recharging their crystals. They will be casting spells at that time. They will be doing their rituals. And let's just say I wish they wouldn't, but
You remember the little boy James McNeilis that I covered in Oklahoma?
yeah.
We found out that his parents were allegedly into witchcraft.
Imagine that.
He was killed October 20th, 2021 at twilight.
Yep.
That day was a full moon. It was the first full moon of Aries. Aries is the full moon of a time for transformation.
Yep.
They were into cosplay, Wicca, witchcraft, was all reported, allegedly. And then you think about Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly admitted that they both drank each other's blood in ceremonies.
Wow.
They admitted that. They said we drank each other's blood in certain ceremonies.
I'm not even going to say what I want because I don't want your channel deleted. Thank you, Tracy. I pray against it nightly.
You want to let everybody know where you're going to be Friday night? Go ahead and give that a shout
Friday
out.
night will be on Josh Turner Paranormal Roundtable. I hope y'all will come over and see us, support us. He's a great guy, fantastic wife. He supports us. We will support him. I will say this right now. Josh is going through a few health issues. Nothing that is life-threatening, but it is painful. So I will ask everybody to please pray for Josh, for Jesus to look down on him and lay his healing hand on him. And hopefully within a few days, Josh will be better. And like I say, I'm not even sure what the topic's going to be tomorrow night, but please just come on over, watch it, whatever it is, it is. It's going to be a quality show like our shows. And they are quality individuals that we all need to support so that we can get to the truth of this.
These, just so everybody knows also, this live about the witches tonight is we're going to take a break from the witches for a while. We're going to go back.
There's so much more that I would really love to be able to expose, but once more, because of the fact that YouTube, I do not want them banning your channel. I've got to bite my tongue on this. I will answer any questions anybody has on Facebook Messenger. All you've got to do is message me. I will give you the best answer, or rather the answer to the best of my ability and the best of my knowledge. And hopefully that does it.
There will be some stuff later on posted in Patreon as me and Kurt get it ready and everything. And you'll have access to it there. Things that we can't talk about here. That was one of my deciding decisions to get Patreon was me and Kurt found out that we could share more things there than we can share here or on Facebook without the repercussions.
Sure, just like some of the pictures I sent out today, we cannot post on this platform, but we could post on Patreon. Quite frankly, that's what we're seeing.
If you want them on there, I can put them on there for you if you want them posted on there.
I think that they should be. I think that the people should be able to see them. And I'm going to send you some more that I believe need to be up.
Lisa, the Patreon that I went with is the very lowest because I wanted everybody to have access to it. It's $5. We do have a second tier that's going to be $10. We're working on it right now. And I think what me and Kirk has decided on the $10 one is every once in a while from my investigations, we're going to pick a winner and send them some stuff from where I investigate and maybe do like a shirt autographed, an autographed hat.
Or a hat autographed.
Yeah, we're going to work on some things for that tier. But the $5 tier will get you into all the photographs and everything like that. It's just some things they will not let us say, some things they will not let us show.
Exactly right. You know,
And if I get three strikes, I'm gone.
Yeah,
They delete my channel.
Stuff that I would like to add to this show, but out of the 5 pages, probably 4 7/8 of it would get Mike thrown off. I can't do that to the man.
Yeah, I mean, I get 3 strikes. If I get 3 strikes, they delete this channel and it doesn't come back. They totally delete it.
Grape Ape, at this point in time, I would probably appreciate you more on Patreon, just for the simple fact that I want you to be able to see the things that we can post there that we cannot post on here.
Yeah, your membership to the channel is going to get you the you're going to be seen in the chat as a member. You're going to be you'll have your photos and stuff that you can post in chat, to where the Patreon is going to open you more up to more information that we can't share.
Right. And that's really where I hope that you'll go, so that we can get this information out, so that you know some of the things that we actually are going through. I personally think it's better for everybody to be on Patreon than on a membership of YouTube. And hell, I'll probably get censored for that. I mean, you know, I'm not going to lie. It's the truth.
Oh, they're very
pretty anal about the stuff that they do.
Right. And I think that they are right now. I think we're probably blacklisted. I think our numbers should be higher than what we are right now.
I guarantee you they should.
But our 2 videos we released this month, we didn't get near the views. So share it out, guys. When we drop a video, share it out. It's up to you guys.
Share it. Please hit that like button. Please make a comment. Like I say, subscribe. And if you can afford to join Patreon, it's $5 a month. It will get you views at a lot of other things that you'll never see otherwise. I wish you could see it, but because of the rules on here, Patreon is about the only way you're ever going to see it. And as I said, you guys can always message me on Messenger. I'll answer all questions. Just like I know if you get a hold of Mike on Messenger, he'll answer all questions. And Christy, being new, she will try to answer questions. Personally, I think we have a fantastic team, and the people that we have now, both the hosts and the moderators, they do a great job. They work their butts off for us, and I really want to give them a shout out that, hey, they do great.
And I guess we're at the point now to where I guess we'll take any questions that y'all have. We like to keep you all involved, and like I told you, we're not just going to run off and forget about you. So we're going to hang around and we'll answer questions now. We'll do or you can if you want to make a statement if there's something that you feel you need to say.
Edith Gomez, I'm very happy that you listened tonight. Being your first time, I hope to see very, very much more of you.
And thank you, Lori, for joining the Patreon.
Thank you, Lori.
She's going to see a lot of things in there.
Yep. And I will be posting more in the next couple days. Some of them you guys might have a hard time seeing, but they are all true.
And put your
Welcome, Rita.
questions in uppercase if you can. That way I can try to find them. The chat's kind of fast tonight.
How do you know if there is a hex against you or your family to marry? You really don't. Sometimes you can feel it. You know it in your heart. But you never know for sure. Just as I know there have been 3 spells cast against me. I rebuke the spells in Jesus Christ's name. I am covered in Jesus' blood. They have no meaning on me, the spells. But you have to be spiritually strong.
I made a note for Frida to do prayers before we start the show next time. I made a note.
Wonderful. I would love to have Frida lead us in prayer next time.
Candy, that is an awesome question. What I do is I have another channel. It's an outdoor channel where I spend time with my family and fish and hunt and camp, and we do funny things, and we have a lot of fun. It's growing really fast. It's actually almost monetized. So I would invite any of y'all to come over and check out our other channel. It's Wide Open Adventures. Kurt's going to be on the lives we're going to be doing on Fridays.
I'll be on Josh Turner this Friday. I will be on the live next Friday.
Yes, yeah. Whenever we start the lives,
Yeah.
You'll be a host of that show,
Right.
and we're going to that's where we go to relax, where we can talk about food,
Exactly.
cooking, smoking out, cooking with the kids, camping.
Yeah.
And
You've got to have a stress relief.
Got to have it, no doubt. That's where we unwind a lot at. I'm getting ready to do a lot of fishing. We got a cold front coming. It's been so hot right now, you couldn't afford to go. But that's pretty much where we go.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Christy tonight for being here with us. I thought she done an excellent job.
I agree.
I think she's going to be a great asset to the team, and I look forward to working with her. I believe that she proved a lot tonight, and I'd just like to thank her for her time. She had to go take care of her family, and like we always say, take care of your family first.
Exactly. But remember, we are the second family.
Yes. Henry wants to know, what is your info for Kirk?
Okay, I'm lost on that one.
They said Candy had a question. I'm looking for. Oh, okay. Yeah, we answered it. Never mind. Cool. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Johnny Calories, come on over and join the other channel, Wide Open Adventures. You'll see a lot of cooking, fishing, camping, survival, running jugs, trot lines. Kaylee's in it. She catches catfish on the jug lines, usually throws the lake water in my mouth. I do a little bit of amoeba testing while I'm out there. And,
and I'll probably smoke some ribs or smoke a brisket or something on it. You know.
And some people might think we smoke more than that, but we don't. We're just naturally goofy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Candy. Our kids and our family, Kirk and I know Christy's the same way. They're our life, and that's what makes it most important. And we're going to start knocking these shows out of here, guys. We got some. Well, Kirk, let's just tell them a little bit. Why not? We have some guests coming, and some people that we're going to be working with that are going to blow your minds. We're going to, I would say, the next level, wouldn't you?
I have secured a professional vampire hunter to come on the show in October. We're going to try to make it our Halloween special. This man has been a vampire hunter for approximately 30 years. His partner, actually a 72nd generation vampire hunter. His family was hunting vampires before Jesus Christ was born. So they've been around at least that long. He will be on the show, like I said, in October. We have a couple other fairly, I'll say, big name celebrities, but I'm going to leave it at that until everything is nailed down and I can give you an exact date. And oh, yeah, he's a real vampire hunter, Candy. A real vampire hunter.
And he said, did he not say this is his first and last he'll ever do?
Yes, this is the first one he has ever done. It will also be the last one he ever does. So the people will either see him on here or they're just out of luck.
And then I'm going to be doing a couple of videos with Vic Kundiff. I've spoke with him, and I'm going to be on 2 of his shows that he'll be releasing. Correct. And then we are going to try to have Vic back to our channel.
Yep.
We're going to try to get him over here, and we might even try to get old Josh Turner over here. And
Josh is going to come on. If I got to kick his ass to get him over here, he'll be here.
Yeah, we'll get Josh on, and maybe even Bettina Moss. We may have her on.
Yep, maybe.
You never know who we're going to put on. I reached out to Hellbent Holler, and I don't think they are going to come on my show.
That's okay.
I tried.
Did you happen to reach out to Jessica Jones?
Yeah, she's been on the show a few times. Actually, okay. I would love to have her back on.
I would too.
I think it would be an interesting show. Maybe we could talk about, maybe her and one of her friends can come on and we can talk about, maybe different things and, in a spirited, professional manner, and maybe see what we could come up with. Kenny, thank you for joining.
Thanks, Kenny. And I will elaborate to everybody. One of the people I do have lined up is also a professional witch hunter.
And if you guys want to be members of the channel and Patreon, you can do that also. It's whatever y'all want to do. I just got a person.
Totally up to you guys.
Yeah, a person on our. It's funny that people hit me up on this. I don't use it a whole lot, but a person on TikTok just said, "Is it okay, Mike, if I am on both of your channels? Is that okay with you?" Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Yeah.
Our show coming up this Saturday night, and we hope to see y'all there, is going to be about cryptids this time. We're off the witches, and we're moving on to the cryptids, what we really enjoy doing. I'm more into the cryptids. And we're going to talk about the flesh and blood cryptids. We're going to share some of our personal encounters, what makes us believe that they are flesh and blood. And it should be a pretty good show. A lot of Bigfoot talk, a lot of cryptid talk. I'm pretty excited for Saturday night, really. I am. Christy. I think Christy's had some encounters, maybe.
Yes, she has. Christy had a dogman encounter not long ago.
So maybe we can get Christy to tell us some of her encounters.
Yeah.
But I think, guys, that we've pretty much answered all the questions. I'm not seeing any new questions coming through. Thank you for joining us on a Thursday night. We appreciate each and every one of you. We don't take any one of you all for granted. Each one of you, you all mean everything to us. Please smash the like button. Don't be something's dinner on this full moon tonight. And until next time, keep your head on a swivel. God bless, and we'll see you Saturday night.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.